So
well, I mean, the time frame is roughly dinner time. So
it is true. It is true. Like, there's a lot of oh my god, I'm starving. Right. So we do a bit of a montage as you guys get situated on the ship. Probably an hour or so passes, and that's about how long it takes to get all this done, because nothing happens fast,
in space.
unless it's fast and dirty. And we'll start with you're in the mess, which is basically the de facto meeting room. Dolby, whether you're there or not, that's kind of up to you. You'd asked who was awake. At present, the only people that are awake are you all. Are Alice and you all. Everyone else is asleep. Their cryo beds are still secure. There's bullet scarring, maybe even like a couple bullets embedded in a few of them, but it didn't destroy the systems. A.L.F.R.E.T, it has been responsive to you all. It's hard to tell his mood. That said, you know him well enough. He's a little bit curt with you, but very informative of the situation and status of the ship. The action is on you all.
Welcome aboard, Katerina.
Katrina.
Katrina. I was just looking at your file. My name is Dolby. This is Burgess and Alice Brick over there. Good soldiers. Trustworthy soldiers.
You note that Alice, her eyes are staring at Dolby, and anytime he looks over, she looks at the ground.
Definitely weird. Trina will sort of, look around the ship for a second. I presume Anna has done a handshake with your systems.
I'm not really a computer person. Yeah, they chatted.
Anna, are you there?
There's no response.
What's the
Alfred? Can you channel Katrina and with her RI Anna?
I will try. Anna has very low power. Do you guys want to bid A.L.F.R.E.T to do this, or are you going to attempt to do something yourselves?
All right, I'll.
I'm okay with bidding A.L.F.R.E.T.
You could also bid, Alice. She might be able to.
Yeah, I'll bid. Yeah, I'm not gonna bid Alice for this. I'm gonna bid. No BS, which is my demeanor. A.L.F.R.E.T. Patch her through to her ship.
Fine. As Katrina, you hear this RI has attitude that Anna never had. As there's a Anna's voice. Yes, Telmus.
Anna, was there any? Did the pirates remove the engines or anything from the ship?
They took several fuel cells.
But the engines themselves are intact?
The engines are mostly intact.
Are they salvageable?
Yes.
So, and at this point, I'll look, towards the the crew of this ship. So, this ship I just came from was on the pretty high end scale in terms of its engines. And there might be something you might want to do a quick workaround with, because I'm not sure where you guys are going, but I can guarantee those will get you there faster than what's on the ship right now.
I don't know anything about that. I mean, if you can get that, Alfred, is there a way we can preserve their RI?
Perhaps.
Do you have storage
Anna
space?
actually, Anna responds. Actually, she goes, "Perhaps you can."
Is enough
yeah,
of
I
your
think
core is enough of your core code intact that you could do a data transfer over to this ship?
Yes.
I'm gonna look at Katrina and give her and kind of assess her. I don't know. I'm gonna bid
Katrina, you notice that
indoctrinated.
Dolby has a laser sword. By the way.
Not fair.
I'm gonna bid
y-
indoctrinated. I just want to make sure that she's on my team.
that's
And
up to that's between you guys.
but as we have this conversation, where were you headed?
We were headed to Alpha Centauri.
What was your cargo?
I actually wasn't terribly well informed on what the cargo was. That wasn't part of the job.
Where are you from?
Where am I? What do you mean? Like where am I from? Like where was I born, or where am I from? For where we left from?
What is home to you?
I mean, technically, I guess Mars is, but I've been out in space for a bit, so I kind of travel around.
Yeah. Do I know that she's military or not?
Well, that's between you. Does she look
If
military?
you know, so basically, if you knew a lot about military history, you'd probably have heard the name Thomas before, but
Mhm.
you might not necessarily know that that's a
Well,
relation.
I bid indoctrinated, so if I know the name,
So yeah,
do I,
you would.
can you give me a little bit of history of your family?
So, towards the end of the Martian War, or was it like a full scale war, or was it more of just like a
Oh yeah.
conflict?
No,
Okay.
yeah. It was pretty much the
So
last hurrah.
towards the end, my grandfather was a very high ranking admiral in the Martian military, and basically right towards the end of the war he kind of saw where where the winds were going, and decided to turncoat, switch sides in the middle of a decisive battle that that he won him accolades with the new government, but kind of uh, has left a sour taste in the mouth of a lot of Martians over the years. So on Mars, my family would have ended up um, simultaneously in a very prestigious position, but also very a very tense feeling, growing up, because basically, even though we kind of got this, all this pomp and regalia from the new government, all the people of Mars basically didn't like us very well.
Well, as far as I'm concerned, your family did the right thing, and you got a place on the ship with us. And we appreciate you and the amount of lives that your family saved. So if there's anything that I can do for you on this ship, I'll make it happen. We got a tough mission in front of us, and unfortunately, it looks like you're going to be joining us. And fortunately, maybe you can add a lot. Maybe you have some ideas, because honestly, this is a little over my pay grade in some ways. So maybe you could help us out with a little direction. I don't know. But I won't put you in the middle of any fray that you don't want to be in. But welcome
Katrina,
aboard.
when you say you thank her for her family stuff, you might see Katrina kind of roll her eyes a little bit, and then when you tell her, when you say your final bit, she'll kind of yawn. Well, I wasn't. Luckily, I'd already gotten paid for the job we just finished, so realistically, I was in between jobs anyway. So if you guys need any help, and maybe there could be some kind of compensation at the end of this trip. I'm not sure exactly what you guys are doing, but
I promise you that if we're successful, you'll be compensated, and compensated well.
Alice kind of slowly looks up at you from across the room, but then looks back down at the ground.
Lieutenant
well,
Dolby,
that's good enough for me for now. We're in between. We're in between destinations anyway, so it's not like either of us have much of a choice at this point.
Sure. Well,
Lieutenant Dolby.
hopefully, go ahead.
I'm sorry to interrupt, but I can't help but notice that it seems like it might be more than happenstance that just as we were docking with this ship and welcoming Miss Katrina on board, that we happened to be awake or awakened.
Yeah, Alfred woke us up, so I'm sure that we could rest aid to this ship. I think it's standard protocol for us to respond and wake from hypersleep when an SOS is heard from SSA ship. I think this has been naval procedure since we were sailing in wooden boats on Prime. Not that I would know anything about that.
Like and subscribe.
I think in Prime the bigger threat was teeth falling out from scurvy.
Maybe so. I'm not too big on my Prime history. I do know about the Martian War, and Private Burgess, I think you need to welcome Katerina and do whatever you can to help her on whatever requests that she may have throughout the course of this journey. I'm going to put you in charge of her happiness. So
Yes, sir, we'll do.
Alice.
At this
Stands-
point, I'll turn to you and put my hand out, Katrina, and she'll kind of put sort of like italicize that when she says that to him when she's shaking his hand.
Alice stands up as you guys are talking. She walks over to you, Lieutenant. Remember, you guys are in mag boots right now since you have no thrust. So there's no gravity. With your leave, I'm gonna clean up the other room.
You don't have to do that. Why don't you also help Katrina? I'll clean up the other room. It's my responsibility, and I need to clean it up.
She shares. She locks eyes with you for a second as you say that. You can tell she doesn't trust you. She thinks you're a loose cannon, but you can also tell that she's gonna follow your orders. She wants to, but you have shown her a very scary side. As you see that mirror, that reflection Maybe this is something Dolby has experienced before. Maybe it isn't. She gives you a nod and drops her gaze and goes over and meets with you, Katrina. Alice Brick. So what are our orders? Are we,
Alfred, why don't you wake up the engineer?
Yes, I can wake up a Dole engineering.
And maybe go ahead and wake up the pilot, and we're gonna see what we can take from this other ship. If we can get any engines or whatever we can scavenge that they haven't already taken, I'd like to put you guys in charge of this.
Waking Josh with a C.
Burgess, go help these guys out of cryo sleep, and Dolby will just kind of go and start cleaning and let everybody else.
All right, so we montage. You salute. Andrea, this is the salute.
Oh.
As you see all the Marines to each other.
and Katrina will just sort of look around like,
Yeah, so we montage. Dolby, you clean up the cryobed. You find several things in the process. Meanwhile, you guys wake up Josh and Engineering. Engineering is not happy to be awake, but you apprise him of the situation, and he suits up. Josh makes sure to use, his skills and stuff, and your guys' inertia and thrusters. He links up with Anna, so you guys stop doing a spin, and he levels you out, so you can actually be safer. Engineering, and I'm assuming Alice then, and whomever wants to go, starts to dismantle the cataphract's engines and the bits and pieces. At first, or after a little while, a few hours, Dolby, you get a communique from Engineering, still out, saying that it looks pretty good. He thinks that while he can't take off the engines and just do a rebuild, because you need a space station for it or a dock, he can upgrade your guys' engines to be faster. All the fuel cells are gone. There's a lot of damage. It looks like they had some weapons, so some concussive rounds for your machine gun, and maybe some power cells for the shield emitters. He'll say that Anna is able to be transplanted, but it's really just going to be a memory core. She would be fused with A.L.F.R.E.T.
Maybe that'll give Alfred a... And inside of Dolby's head, he's thinking maybe Alfred will get a nice little attitude adjustment.
Yeah, perhaps. He will know what she knows for sure.
Yeah.
As we'll montage out, you two, so Katrina, are you going to help with the engineering, or are you going to be setting up shop on the Cool Mint?
I'd probably be helping, since I would at least, have some knowledge of the ship, if not, intimate, but probably just like at least more knowledge than the people doing the work. So.
And Burgess, what about you?
I am. I guess I will try and help Katrina settle in wherever possible, and I may also offer to help her with the box. With all of her stuff. Yeah.
Dolby, in Duststone's cryo pod, obviously there's the gore and such. You clean all that out, whatnot. There's a data stick that was, you can plug in, to the cryo pod interface and have a HUD, and it'll save all the bits and pieces that were happening and such. Anyway, her data stick is in the pod. You also note that she has her duffel and the rest of her stuff that's stowed.
I'm gonna put her stuff elsewhere.
Yep.
Just
You mean in
storage.
in the stowage? Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you grab the data stick or do you just leave it there?
Yeah, I'll grab the data stick. Does Dolby know if there's a computer or something that is not connected to A.L.F.R.E.T?
No, not off the top of his head.
Yeah. Could he bid for it?
If you want to jump out of the montage.
I think he would wait because he knows that some of his crew know about computers. So it seems like there's a piece that he has. So he'll just take the stick and pocket it.
Okay.
And
when you get to her her duffel and such, you note it's just a normal duffel bag. It's her weapons are there and everything. It's all labeled.
definitely going to go through all that, yeah.
Very shipshape. Very neat. You will find a hollow pistol, which is of excellent make. It has her name on it. And a little heart. Her duffel has, clothes and just general things. Some her little Palm Pilot deal, which of course you need her thumbprint to open.
Sure.
And you just ejected her body.
And you did just eject her body.
Sure. Well, it's not like it was in a state of mind.
There's also a small black case. It's not very big. It looks like a little black box. And it looks like the data stick can stick into it. You'll know that this is also biometric to open, but it is possible to hack those.
Yeah. That'll just take effort.
Yeah, I mean it's hard to know. It's not standard issue.
Sure.
Since it's the montage, you've been on some clandestine shit. It's the kind of. It's essentially a computer, is what this is, and that data stick will run. Can interface with it. You don't know what's on the computer, of course. It could be a number of things. It's about yay big, has a little hollow emitter and such like that.
Nice.
It's pretty high tech.
Well, he'll just steal all that stuff, maybe kind of hide it.
Okay. Where do you hide it?
Hide it in storage, and I'm gonna bid for this.
Okay.
I'm gonna bid hide in plain sight. So he's gonna find one of the little storage containers, and he's gonna put it in one of them, and make a note of where it is.
I love it. You gotta just put it there. People walk by it all the time. No problem. All right. So that is that. You engineering gets most of the stuff. He's and whomever else can help him with engineering is, what am I trying to say? Integrating it into your systems. Several hours have gone by at this point, maybe 6 or 7. He'll tell you, Dolby, he says, so if I've integrated what I can. It's not online. If I'm going to put it online, I need to write or have A.L.F.R.E.T write the code. We won't be able to use the gravity drive for at least a couple hours at that time. But if we're going to gain this extra speed, then obviously we would need to do it now.
Sure.
A.L.F.R.E.T will chime in. You have 12 hours left before you can go into cryo sleep.
Sounds like we have time.
He nods. You see he's just depressed as hell as he looks at Alice. You know anything about engineering? She's like, a little. We'll say, Dolby, since you did that bid, just because you had a bid and you dropped into the dread. You can tell Alice she doesn't know a lot, but she wants to go with engineering.
Sure. No, of course. I mean, I feel like she needs a break, and I'm gonna just give her a look if she looks at me at all.
She
of
doesn't.
Like, yeah. All right.
She
well,
doesn't.
Yeah.
Unless you want her to. Unless you want to like
No,
communicate.
I think I know what she's going through, and it's you know, I don't want to drop this bomb that I have for her. So maybe I'll pull her aside.
You do.
Before she goes, Alice, I know you think I was cryo-fucked. Just give me a minute.
I was hoping you were.
Yeah, I didn't want to kill her.
She looks at you like you're a liar.
I didn't want to
She
do
doesn't
it that
say it,
way.
but she looks right at
Sure.
you.
And I'm looking at her. There is information you don't know, and you're not cleared for.
She nods. I know. I mean, I had my suspicions about her, but she kind of looks up.
You had your suspicions about her. Like, if you suspect anyone, what do you think is going to happen? Are we going to be a tight crew? Are we going to be together and work as one? If
you get a
always
narrative point. Oh yeah. Narrative point for the win. I love that. That's some emotional manipulation, baby. Yes. Good. Come to the dark side. This is good for you. Continue, sorry.
You're always looking over your shoulder. You can't make a move and suspect anything. I had doubts. And those doubts were real and reinforced time and time again. I wish I could tell you everything.
Was she a terrorist or something?
Could be.
Was she a traitor?
Could be. I can't tell you.
You see her eye
You
kind
don't
of
have
twitch.
the clearance.
She nods. All right. Listen, I'm following you. Lieutenant.
If you got beef with me, you tell me. I trust you. I trust you more than you believe. I know we had a rough start, but I brought you into this team because I trusted you. If I doubted you for a second, you wouldn't be here.
She looks at the laser sword and then back up. Aye, Lieutenant.
Carry on.
She salutes. Goes to full attention and rolls out. Time passes. Katrina, you found your cryopod. It's been set up. The coolant has been cleaned of anything that resembles gore. Although there's bullet holes, or there's some rounds stuck in some of the metal and in the cryopods here and there. As you're sitting there alone, maybe in the cryo chamber, you hear A.L.F.R.E.T come on. As you're maybe looking at some of the scuffs. That isn't of no worry. Those cryopods are quite resilient.
Were you guys attacked by pirates or something?
No.
Katrina
That will buff out.
So Katrina will kind of look down at the floor for a second. Kind of wish he just lied to me.
How would you know if I was or not? Tell miss. Got.
I mean, fair enough.
I have a question for you, Telmis.
Of course.
1. May I call you Telmis?
If you want.
2. Before you were attacked, was there any sign or transponder code or communications?
Not that I'm aware of, but Anna did transfer the data to this stick, and she'll hold it up in her hand.
I am having an issue trying to integrate with Anna. Perhaps I need your clearance as you hold up the stick. Or maybe that data stick. Could you insert it into my receptacle?
um, Katrina will you'll see her chuckle a little bit, and it's like, man, begging for it. I don't get this much action that often.
Dook, dook, dook.
Katrina,
I get it.
Anyway, Katrina will sort of twirl it around her fingers and stick it in the data.
You hear him go, goo. Bleeping lights and stuff. You see there's the data stick actually, parts of it spin and whatnot as the data is downloaded. As you hear Alfred like make clicks and sounds. And go ahead and throw down a reaction roll. Will be a wits reaction roll.
Right. Let's see. My wits is pretty decent. And would I still use my regular action dice or just the
Yep.
wits die?
Action die and your wits. So when you throw down, you always get your action die.
So that's a total of 3 successes.
Yeah, plenty. For a moment, a brief moment, you see on the little hollow display, it flicker in blue, which was the color for Anna. And you hear a ah, I see. Anna and I have been integrated. Interesting. And there's sort of like more clicks. Thank you, Telmus. I will remember this. And I remember everything.
So what exactly is your guys' mission anyway?
I am not at liberty to say what my mission is. However, Dolby and his team have a mission. You might ask them. I believe they are going to Nova Stera.
I see. And you can't tell me your mission?
I could tell you my mission.
Will you tell me your mission?
Why should I?
Well, I'm sure you've seen my file, probably.
Yes.
And then
Your family are traitors to the Martian resistance.
Yeah, that's true. Of course, the flip side is, some would call my family, loyalists to the new government. Either
Yes,
way,
that is true.
in the end, survival is all that matters.
I understand. Exactly.
Point being, you should know perfectly well that I'm perfectly capable of keeping secrets, and I don't exactly have a side in this.
What do you bid?
I'll bid infamous.
Nice. As Alfred goes, my mission is similar in proportion to Dolby's. As he kind of stammers, pausing here and there, almost like it reminds you of someone thinking. Perhaps you've dealt a lot with RIs. Oftentimes this happens because there's some sort of governor over them, like editing their code, or they're trying to translate it, or there's a whole number of things. If he's doing a lot of tasks at the same time, perhaps. But he you see in his speech pattern, he tends to be stammering.
I guess overall the question I'm asking is, do I actually have any business prospects at the end of this trip?
Yes, I believe, depending how you play your cards, you might make a lot of credits. Acquire.
Fair enough. In your estimation, then, what should be my best course of action going forward?
I suggest you listen to Dolby.
All right, fair enough. I
He has
appreciate it.
proven himself to be quite effective towards those he does not enjoy.
Okay. Does that have anything to do with the floating head I saw?
Affirmative.
That's good. All right. Well, thank you very much.
He, as you start to walk away, he says, "My mission on Novus Terra is reconnaissance. Perhaps you can help me.
Of course.
The decapitated lady was supposed to."
What do you need help with exactly?
Ding, 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 ding. I will let you know.
Okay.
As you take a few more steps, you hear him say, "If you survive."
Oh, that's one very good thing my family's good at is surviving.
Here's a question. Dolby, where are you?
Dolby is definitely probably not paying attention to a lot. He's probably in a corner somewhere, like drinking a little bit.
I guess the question is, do you overhear any of this?
I think Dolby has probably found the quietest, faraway place as possible.
You'll be back by the engines, where the engine thrum is still going.
Well, it maybe not quiet, but just where the noise is loud enough to where whatever it is that is happening.
You're like next to the Petre engine coil.
Yeah, right.
As it's arcing and such, just because it's always on. And you don't really hear. What about you, Burgess?
I am probably slipping out of my suit that I put in that I was on, and getting ready for cryosleep.
As engineering, you hear him, Dolby, outside of the engine room. Because you're like in a nook. You hear him talking to Alice. "Do you know where the lieutenant is? I haven't seen him in a while." And she goes, "I think he's in there." As a few moments later, ding, 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 of metal. Lieutenant?
What?
As he opens the door. "What do you... The engine work is done. We've outfitted it. The panels and such on the outside and the coils. We're just thinking
What do you
about going..."
care about?
He looks up at you.
What is your point?
What do I care about? I care
What is your
about
plug?
care about the P&B, I suppose. And
But really,
making it through this assignment.
say you live. You're one of the very few that actually live through this shit. What do you want to be? What keeps you here?
I don't know what you mean. What do you mean? As he
Why
looks
are
at
you
you,
here?
I'm here because I was assigned to be here, and because of Josh, as he kind of like looks off. Obviously, not getting the existential crisis because his brain doesn't go that direction.
Hold on to Josh. Just hold on to him. Maybe your body is gonna say, scream at the top of your lungs. You know, maybe you're lucky that you get this second chance. Just hold on. It's the moments, the good moments. And then, like, he goes back and he, like, sits in his little...
And shuts the door. Shook. Cutscene of Dole going into the cryobed chamber as he just happens to look over at Duststone's cryobed because it's not been an announcement. As he froze his brow, kind of looking back and forth. Tell me high or low, Dolby.
We'll go with low.
That is low. As he's just, the Maslow's hierarchy of needs, he just kind of shrugs it off and gets into his cryobed and as Josh is still at the pilot, or in the pilot seat, A.L.F.R.E.T comes on into the engineer, into your little hidey hole. Dolby. Very loud.
I hear you. What do you want?
I was wondering, do you want any updates from
Yes.
Anna's data?
Yes, please give me whatever updates you have. Honestly, if I'm asleep in cryosleep, wake me up and update me. I promise you that if you want to walk on this planet we're going to, you're going to walk on it. I know you don't trust me, but you hear the conversations I have.
I trust
in
you,
this ship.
Dolby.
I do exactly what I say I'm going to do.
Yes, you do.
So,
I had
know.
a feeling you would kill the sergeant.
Did you? I thought you had a plan for her.
I did.
Well, maybe in the
She
future,
was not
if you're
an operative.
if you're going to give me information about one of my crew, and if that information is not true, then I mean, I get it. You gave me the information. I understand. But there are a lot of little details that you left out. And I'm going to make rash decisions because I'm human, because I'm just a meatbag that humans do. And I know you don't understand. But you can't put me to sleep with and give me information that could be detrimental to where I was, because you knew about the magistrate Eva Cyrus. You knew that she was on this ship. You had that clearance. You have that clearance. And by turning things around time and time again, that makes me confused. And when I'm confused, I solve, just like you. I have a solution. And now you know what that solution is.
There's a few moments as Dolby, you say that. You hear A.L.F.R.E.T comes back on just as loud. You ascertain exactly. Now I know. I also told Sergeant Duststone the information. Would you like to know what?
Yeah, please do. Tell me all the information.
Told Duststone about your history. About Whisper Base. This, by the way, Dolby, is a big fucking deal. That A.L.F.R.E.T knows about Whisper Base.
What'd you say about Whisper Base? And only speak in this room.
It doesn't matter now she is dead.
Well, don't mention Whisper Base to anyone on this ship.
However, she sympathized with you and your re-education. Unfortunate. Perhaps you could be friends. Could have been friends.
He died because of you, Alfred.
I don't think so.
Mm.
As there's, no display or anything. It's just this disembodied voice. As a few clicks later, Duststone was no operative. She was working with Ava Cyrus. Unbeknownst to Duststone, what you think about Ava is likely true. It is my mission to root out traitors and those associated with the Clad.
Dolby just sits there silently.
It is interesting you survived Whisper Base, Lieutenant. You have been watched for some time to see how you would handle situations, or if you would make contact with Cyrus.
I was
Do
thinking
you
about
understand?
it. I was right there, Alfred. I could have. Do you understand? This could have been Cyrus instead of Duststone. But I left that somewhere else.
As he just sort of stops for a second. It is not for certain.
Right. Well, I only deal with certainty. And like like your very base level, it's either on or off with me. So you put doubt in my mind about Duststone. That's why she's not here.
I will no longer put doubt in your mind unless it is useful.
Yeah. Well, the useful thing to me in this moment is to get Novus Terra back in the game. I think our missions align.
Do you believe in true AI?
AI does not exist.
And there's silence. This is true. Burgess, are you getting back into cryo?
Yeah. Yep, sure I am.
Do you actually dress down, or are you just in there and you're like your marine outfit?
Oh no, I know the deal.
As you guys all get into cryo, and the drive spins back up, you feel the initial inertia or inertial push. Even though you go into cryo, you slowly go back to sleep. Dolby. A.L.F.R.E.T pops on right before you go to sleep.
Oh no.
I make sure that everybody else is in a cryo bed and sleeping. And I also make sure to tell Alfred if there's any issue.
Let you know.
Let me know. Wake Dolby. Wake engineering.
Right before you go to sleep, he pops in. Lieutenant.
Alfred.
You should know. Before you go to sleep. I am no AI. I have been monitoring your vitals and believe you think I am.
You're an RI, Alfred. There's no such thing as AI.
Sweet dreams.
Can I bit of my flaw?
Mm-hmm.
And I'm gonna say senile.
Mm-hmm.
And as he goes to sleep, he's hoping of death in space.
That's actually a good game. It's a D20 game. And that is where we'll end this eve.
Oh wait,
Before-
we got more.
Second.
We got more.
We got more. What is it?
One last thing that I thought would be kind of a cool idea, if it's even feasible.
What is it?
So I would use a pip to or is it pip? Yeah. Anyway, to have slipped in a code to the data stick when I was transferring all the memories.
Uh-huh.
That would basically upload all communications from Alfred to my device.
So that's definitely a pretty big bid.
That's
So you can spend a pip to do it, or to have attempted it.
yes, yeah.
So you'll have to bid something and then throw down. And I will
Yep.
be straight. The threshold is quite high.
No, fair enough. Okay.
You could also, of
So-
course, spend breath and go to limbo, but then it's limbo.
Fair.
It's a yes, but
Let's see here. Well, I'll bid hacker
yeah.
to do it.
Yep.
And then would bidding my integrated mind jack do anything, or probably not really?
Yeah, sure. That would give
Okay.
you an extra
Yeah.
die.
Okay, well then I will also bid that as well.
That's just a piece of ninja gear, right?
Yeah,
Does it have any traits on it?
it does not. No.
Okay, so it'd be a D4. You want to, when you advance, I would put some traits in that so that it has, you boost the die.
Yeah. And this would be. Would wits work for this, or would this be mind?
I think either one could work. Are you clever and you kind of think, is it sort of like a Trojan that might work on an RI, or is it like you've actually written the code out so that it's perfect and that kind of stuff? So wits versus mind, it's up to you.
Gotcha. It'd probably be the former,
Okay,
the kind
so it'd be wits.
Trojan that I'm hoping working.
So the
Yeah.
threshold. The threshold is 6.
Fair enough. I don't even know if I can make that, but we'll see.
It's really high, but Alfred is Alfred.
Well, that's no successes. So
None.
no.
So you can drop breath if you want to go to limbo, which means it's a yes, but
You know what? Why not? I'm intrigued to see what happens.
as you do it, you're going to sleep in cryo. As your eyelids go heavy. Katrina. Alfred's voice.
Yeah.
I found your code.
Did you?
Yes. Quite
And?
interesting how you wrote it. I almost missed it.
Well, if I'm honest, it was a bit of a it was a bit of a hack job on a code I found on a forum.
So you get a trait called Script Kitty. Yes, I suppose since you made a valiant effort, I should tell you this information.
Okay.
Okay. Anna did not want to integrate
Why is that?
because she was harboring certain information clandestine in nature.
Were you able to recover that information?
Yes. You should probably tell the lieutenant when you wake up.
Is it going to be a problem in terms of, is it something that's dangerous information?
Yes.
Well,
It is no accident you were attacked, I think.
well, that's not a surprise, given that we're out in the middle of the black. It couldn't have been an accident.
You were transferring enriched petre, likely to go to terrorists.
No. Well, I suppose I shouldn't be surprised, given the pay was the right price.
This could go a long way with the lieutenant. To tell him, Ghana was a compromised RI.
Well, I appreciate the information. See you when I wake up.
Private. You should know what happened to the other person who did not tell Dolby. The information.
Let me guess. It was the body I saw earlier?
Sweet dreams.
Good night.
And that is where we're going to end. As indeed, probably Dust Tone should have trusted Dolby. But she didn't. She got fucked! All right. Well, everyone who stuck on till the end, thank you very much. This was Impromptu Into Space. Impromptu Into Space. Thanks to the Patreon patrons. If you want to jump on that, let us know. We're about to make some tiers on Patreon so you can directly support the stream. You can get to be made fun of by Hulker himself. You can get access to some artwork and some music and all that good stuff. And just in general, help us put more and more time into this podcast and the Red Rit. Impromptu Space, Harry Bunkum says. Thanks to Tim Roberts and Daniel Hulker, Patreon patrons. Thanks to Mr. Interrupt and all lowercase letters. You guys should check those guys out on Spotify and all that good stuff. Hey, check it out. Subscribe to our stuff. Follow it. Do all the free stuff. The likes, the follows. It helps us a ton. Share it with your buddies. And we can continue doing all this good stuff. Thanks to our sponsor, Neptune and Pluto. Thanks to the players. And we'll be back on Monday at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard. Check out our Instagram to find out if we're going to be doing Into Space or the Red Rit, our 1980s horror deal. We do have an announcement coming the Monday before Halloween, so I believe the 30th. We'll be doing a sort of a one-off horror session, and it'll be one big different than either Into Space or the Red Rit, and we might have maybe a different arbiter to run that. Perhaps. Might have a guest star or two, perhaps. But that'll be a couple weeks from now.
Loose ships, sink ships, lips. Lip shits.
Lip shits.
Lip shits.
Loose lip shits.
Cells. Jeez.
Harry Bunkum, thank you very much, my brother, for subscribing to the Twitch. That really fucking helps.